Alright, on this episode we're just going to spruce up the truck with some new plug wires, a little bath, and address the tuning a little bit, just try to smooth it out at idle and throttle response. But overall, we just want to clean the grime off from the daily commute the last 3 months, and I'd say it looks pretty good. Alright, so here are the old valve covers that the truck had, and the only reason I switched to the ones it has on it now is because they say Ford on them, and I liked them. I repainted them blue and thought it looked nicer, but these work better. So this oil fill and breather just works better. There's a better baffle inside that blocks oil. The ones that are in there now, I literally lose oil out of the valve covers, and I had a breather fall off the other day. The type of breather that they take is different. This kind with the grommet, at least I have a hose that fits this that goes into the air cleaner. Like, it's all more contained. The two just breathers and no real return just means that the gases that come out of here just get all over the valve cover, make it all oily. Plus a valve cover leak. These have gaskets on them, so I'm hoping that I'm just going to clean them up and put them on. They should be good to go the way they are, but obviously I want to clean them up. I might actually hit them with some paint, but again, it's going to be whatever paint I can find because I moved and I don't have my stuff like I used to. Just hose this off. Alright, we saw what the Simple Green did. That wasn't quite enough, so now we're going to hit it with some engine degreaser. Alright, let's rinse these off and see how they look. I wanted to show you the tool bag again. Not that the tool bag is anything special, but the idea that I try to work on the truck with tools from this bag. Now, in one of the later videos, I used an impact gun and extension and sockets and everything to do some of the exhaust. I don't need those tools to do that, but what I didn't show is that I did put a breaker bar and 1/2-inch sockets in the truck. So I had another set of those impact sockets, so they live in a different box, something I don't get into very much. But the regular go-to bag, my little socket set, the ratchet went bad, the little selector broke, so I think that's fixable. I could potentially make one of these or fix this down the road, but I'm replacing it with this. It was a Dash 4 Thorson USA 77 JC. I don't know, other than it looks a lot like that one, but it's probably better because it actually has words on it. So that'll be the replacement. Alright, this is not too involved. Should just be a 1/2-inch socket all the way around. We're going to do what, 2, 4, 5 on each one. And rather than tightening these, I'm just going to take them off because these are also cork gaskets. I have no faith in these sealing since they don't now. Or this one, really. That one seems fine. I'm just going to go back to the other ones that didn't leak, that had the rubber gasket. And yeah, these aren't even tight. But the bigger issue is the breather. Oh, you know what? I gotta take the plug wires off to do this. So I want to make plug wires for it. That gasket off, nice and oily. Nothing weird. Everything looks straight and tight. If it wasn't, I couldn't really do anything about it anyway. That would mean a lot bigger problems. There's not supposed to be anything wrong with the truck. Alright. I gotta get down from here. Alright. Out with the old, in with the new. Alright, let's put the new valve covers on. I believe the dented one goes on this side, and one with the oil fill goes on that side. I did like these because they were flat top. I always thought they were cool. But the other ones say powered by Ford, or no, they say, yeah, powered by Ford. I thought they were cooler, but they leak. I might get figure out a different breather for those, because the breathers are a bigger problem than the gaskets. I could put different gaskets on them. These have rubber gaskets, and they're still stuck on, so I glued these like rubber cement and glue the gasket to the valve cover and then stick the whole thing down onto the engine. And that works really well, except when it doesn't. And the cork gaskets, I think it just didn't stay sealed. Back later, back in the yard. So all right, that's alright, that's done. Now, get our breathers. Go better. Alright, first things first. We got that. For that PCV valve. It says Motorcraft on it. This is what was in here when I got the truck. This is connected to the air cleaner, the factory air cleaner. And then that breather is just the oil fill. These are a little bit difficult to work with, so I'm just going to use a little bit of this tire shine. Soapy water or anything will help these. These are like tacky. They're like a silicone, not rubber. But so are the boots. So then everything's tacky. Everything kind of sticks to itself instead of sliding. Other set I had done previous to this. Well, this set wasn't like that. I put that set together too. Alright, so these all have the spark plug end. They are different lengths. You know what? We'll start with the coil wire. And I'll keep these down out of the way for now. These two are done. So I'm recreating this. Comes with this end already done. Show you this one. I'm not going to show you the rest because it's pretty involved. Alright, it's crimped. I have that wire folded over on the back side of the crimp. Right, so now that's on there. Now, that would get one of these, and I'm not putting it on first because I'm going to try to use this one and put this one on after the fact. The rest of them, though, I'll put on first. Let's put the new spark plug wires on. I have the firing order memorized, so I don't need to bring it up on my phone and put it right here while I do this. It's all up here. Alright, let's start with the easy one. Coil wire. Boom. Uh-oh. There we go. Probably in a cell coil. It's yellow. All right. I'm gonna put these little clips on. All right, ready to get to work? Let's wash the truck. Alright, I already sprayed this down with some Simple Green, but I'm going to go over this and wash it up with some just regular car wash soap and go over it with a sponge. I'm trying to clean it up now that I'm done driving it done driving it every day. So now I can go back to keeping it nice and clean. Every time I get it out, it's nice and cleaned up. Wipe it off every time I'm done and just take care of it. Still a work truck, but I can take better care of it and keep it cleaner. When I'm driving it every day, back and forth to work, that's a little harder. Alright, you can see the difference on the hood. All the stuff that's stuck to the paint versus being washed off. It'll make it a lot nicer to wax then too. Alright, so this now turned into doing plugs and wires and everything, but I didn't have new plugs. I just have a few sets of plugs that I've run in this before, and I have two different styles, like heat ranges and stuff. And alright, so washing the truck turned into moving the truck to rinse it off, which turned into the truck not wanting to start, which turned into the firing order being off by 2 holes the whole way around to the distributor cap. My mistake. Fixed that, still didn't want to start, dead battery. Ran over my charger the other day, so that smashed. So now I'm charging the 700 with the Explorer, which also had a dead battery, which barely started up with the battery I have as a spare winch battery. But now the truck's in the alley and I gotta move it back into the yard so I can charge the 700 for a while and then come back out and try to start it up. So I can move it, so I can rinse it off and continue washing it. Alright, now we wait. I already tried it out and it's dead, so I'm gonna let it run, let it charge up. I'll come back out after a little break and we'll continue. right? Truck has to run. Truck ran the other day, so it should run again. All right, so I got the spark tester hooked up there, because I got to figure out if it has spark. All right, I got every wire connected to every wire. Let's see how it goes. There we go. So, got it running. So, that was my fault. If you look on the distributor cap, there was a number 1 on the distributor cap, and I didn't line that up. You may just go off the photo or the diagram, whatever. There's a number 1 on that cap. So I actually looked at a diagram that said where the wire should be based on the clips on the cap, and I've done that before, but I know since seeing the number 1 on the cap, I've been putting the number 1 plug wire on the number 1 on the cap, because it doesn't make sense to me. And so that's how it was, and I made these new plug wires and put them all back on based on what the book said, and that was wrong. Mine were all off 1, so I just undid them all, moved them all. So they were all yesterday. I must have put them all on 2 or ahead 1. Didn't run. I moved them back 2 based on the picture, and then that was wrong, and they needed to be right in the middle. And as I didn't read the cap, so now we can move the truck and keep on with our day. So you hear that idle? It's still a little cold. I want to smooth it out, but listen to it. That's that new exhaust we put on. It's not bad. It's not hot enough to tune it yet. I'll turn some screws on that carburetor again once it's hot. I'd say that's a little rich. It's kind of trying to overcome some gas, extra gas. I went 1.5. I'm gonna go in a quarter on both sides. I'm gonna go in a half on both sides and see what it likes. Still sounding a little off. I can hear a tiny exhaust leak over there. That's a manifold gasket. I can do that some other day. That's a heck of a lot better than it was, I tell you. Alright, I'm gonna go out 3/4. Oh, that sounds neat, but that doesn't sound better. It shouldn't sound like popcorn popping. This doesn't have a cam in it or anything special. It's smoky back here. You can tell it's rich. That's sounding better. I think I just rinsed that off. Alright. say that's good enough for who it's for. Good enough for my old work truck. That makes me happy. I was feeling pretty bummed out that it didn't start. Like, what the heck did I do? Hey, what are you doing? Get back in the yard. Go on. Alright, I'm just undoing my jump box since this isn't inspected. It's a pretty good jump box, powered by a 5-liter V8, all-wheel drive. But I just want to move the truck so I can finish washing it. Alright, babe. Hop in. Well, that was a little bit of a detour on our morning, but thankful that I can work on stuff, you know. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I've been taught, and I know what I read or research, you know. So my book's at work. I don't have my book for this, so I'm, you know, I Google stuff or whatever if I don't know. But anyway, thankful that I have a few tools, have what I need. New thing added back to the bag is spark plug socket, 13/16. Though I'm not putting in there yet because I stole it from a deep socket set. I have a spark plug socket that I used to carry in this truck when I had a whole half-inch set in here, and realized that if I'm not racing, I don't need that every day. If I'm getting out the half-inch set, I need to call somebody. As far as things that would leave me sit in this truck, I don't need a half-inch set. You know, it's just the same as a 70 anything else. So, anyway, thankful that the spare battery that I just got for the winch, well, it's the winch battery, spare battery, had enough of a charge in it to jump the Explorer, which the drain on that is very simple. That has something hooked up to it that's draining it. I'm going to unhook in another video. But started that, was able to jump the same cables I've had since I've had the Explorer. So they're like 15-year-old cables. Jumped the Explorer, moved it over here, and then charged the battery in the 700 here so I could start it again. Cranking it earlier with the firing order off made it so it killed the battery. But anyway, good. And I'm thankful for this guy's patience. He was sitting in the truck the whole time we were figuring that out. We did go in while it was charging. He's bored. He thinks getting in a truck means going somewhere. But what you don't realize is, with me being home all the time, I keep him up all day. We're doing stuff all the time. He always wants to be with me, so he gets more out. It'll be next week. I'll be going down into work and he'll have the days to himself to nap. Alright. Now we're going to move the truck. I'm just backing it up. I'm not doing anything fancy. There we go. Now how fast that fired up? I was so bummed it didn't do that earlier. Alright. No temperature, oil pressure, voltage, vacuum, 750 RPM. And it's nice and smooth. Let the clutch out. So that's clutch out of gear, parking brake off. And that's smooth. He probably doesn't translate on camera, but I would have, maybe I could mimic it. If you look at the shifter knob, sometimes I would start this thing and idle it and run it at like at a stoplight or something, and this would be going like this, and the whole truck would kind of be shaking, not a lot, but it would be oscillating. You could tell it was bad. And when I pulled plugs, there was nothing real much of a problem, but it was not a bad thing to do. Now look at that, the gas gauge decided to play today. The gas gauge doesn't always want to do what it's supposed to do. It's all hooked up, but I think I have a bad ground on the factory wiring. That, I believe, I can hook back up. I think I can kind of piggyback off of where the probe is. That's electronic. For this one, right, that's mechanical. That actually has a capillary tube. That one I trust. This one I just would like to be active. Then there you go, 90, what does that say, 99? 99, I'm gonna have to throw a party in 300 miles. Oil pressure, that does come up and do something, and so does the voltage or alternator. The tack does not do anything. That's a mechanical tack. If someday I could find an old distributor that would be mechanical but new, like a new old stock distributor, that would be sweet. But right now I think what I'm going to do, I'm either going to leave it there or move, not this gauge because it has this piece here, but a gauge like this in that hole, right? That's my tack. So I got 1500 RPM rev. Earlier when I revved it, I think it was only 2500. I never really revved this past 3000. 4 is my little marker there. I never do that. I might make it to maybe 34. Whoop. The second tick mark. And that's like cresting a hill, winding it up, you know, making all the power that it has. I'll show you the wheels here. They're cleaning up really well. So that's what I have going on. And that's how it's turning out. So again, low standards, just want it to be cleaner. It's not going to be great. Alright, well, that's good enough for me. Again, this is just a dirty, kind of a quick and dirty wipe off here. I'm going to come back a few times with other products and other, say, products and applicators. Oh. Alright, Vader, we're done. And then here are the valve covers. I'll wash them off just so you can see what these actually look like, and that these aren't bad. I painted these and I was very happy about these. I just need to get different breathers. I probably said that 20 times already. What do you say, Vader? Ready for another break? You're looking at birds. Where are the birds? Well, go get them. Oh, gotta fix that. Alright, I think I figured out why all these guys are running low profile tires on their trucks, like pickup trucks. When I go to these shows and they have sidewalls, they're about that big. Well, it's because they don't want to spend money on tire shine. I think that's the only logical reason why you'd have a tire with no sidewall. Look at that. Look at that applicator. Meguiar's. It's made for these tires. There we go. Looking pretty good, pretty clean. Alright, now I want to look at the inside. Ha! Not too much going on in here. Wire to revise on the little amp that's hooked up. Not doing any of that. That's a whole different topic. But yeah, the inside's fine. I'm not going to do anything to these seats. The cleaner that I have doesn't touch them. So the grease that's on them, I need to get something else that'll clean that off. But otherwise, I'm not going to do glass. Because I know the inside, surprisingly enough, because of going to other shows, the inside of the glass is clean. It's the outside that's not. And I'll wait until I wax it to do glass. If I know I'm going to go to another show or something, I might do glass. But there it is. Just gave it a bath after driving it for a while. And you can see some shine in that paint. It's hazy, but it'll come back with some wax and some elbow grease. Vader, are we done yet? Do you think anybody's still watching? I don't know. We'll find out. Alright, that's it for this episode. We're done cleaning the truck up. It's not all shined up, sparkling yet, but we did wash off all the grime from the 3 months of driving it without really caring for it too much. Just checking oil and that's about it. So now we got good plug wires on there, a full set. Got the carburetor tuned up a little bit, and it's cleaner, right? Wheels are cleaner. I'll be doing brakes hopefully next week before inspection. So I'll be taking that stuff apart. It's partly why I wanted to clean it up. And now that I'm done driving it every day, now it'll stay clean for a while. And I'll just have to do a little touch up now and again. But if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. There's definitely a lot more coming with this. And don't forget the Explorer. And if you're into lawn and garden, this is a new project here. That's going to be the donor engine. There's a story behind this, but this, just for right now, that's going to be the donor engine to the Cub. The engine, I think, is blown up in the Cub, and in a future video we're going to be trying to do an engine swap on this thing. So if you're into that, stay tuned. Right, this guy here, it still runs, but I think it has a rod knock and it's gonna explode. It's about out of gas, but that's that. That's what I mowed the grass with. So this was just temporary. I got that, bought that, got it running to mow the grass. This is the real mower, right? So I got to get that running.